back to that later. So, first of all, we've talked about this word congruent figures. This is not 3.1 anymore. This is 5.2. And we're not going to do this either. We've already done that. All right. That's cool. That's pretty neat. So, we're going to talk about some stuff today. I can't wait. I'm stoked. So, remember this congruent means same size and same shape. In order for two polygons to be congruent, they must be the same shape, obviously. A triangle cannot be congruent to a square because they're not the same polygon. All right, congruent polygons, all pairs of your corresponding parts are going to be congruent. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, but this is very important. Okay, it's a very important idea for today. The corresponding parts of every single triangle or whatever polygon are congruent. Okay, if those two polygons are the same. That means their angles are the same. That means their side lengths are the same as well. All right, there's this property that we've talked about, the reflexive property, saying that any segment or angle can be congruent to itself. When you think about looking in the mirror, I made this analogy before. When you look at the mirror, what do you see? You see your reflection. Oh, reflexive, right? Am I right? Why do we use this property? Why do we need this property? Well, we use it when we have an overlap or a shared side. Here, if you look at these two triangles, I have this triangle here and this triangle here. Well, they both share this side. They overlap at this. They don't overlap. They share this side, NW. So I would say that NW is congruent to NW. Okay, this is going to be big when we start proving triangles to be congruent next week and the week after break. All right, big idea there, reflexive property. It's everyone's favorite besides the transitive, obviously. But this one's a great one. I heart math. Here we go. Okay, so remember, you can always pause this and rewind it if you need to. Okay, stay hydrated. It's important to drink water. Here we go. So labeling all the corresponding parts. RS is congruent to ABC. Okay, so the most important thing you want to think about says use these, whatever. All right, order matters. Okay, RST congruent to ABC. The order matters. The way they're oriented doesn't. Okay, if we say that these triangles are congruent, then angle C, which is our third letter, is going to be congruent to angle T because it's in that same corresponding part. All right, if I were to flip this upside like the other way, it would look something like this. T would be there, S would be there, and R would be there. Okay, sometimes it's helpful for people to spin their paper and do that. I just look at the orders of the letters as they appear in our congruence statement. This right here, we've talked about it before. It's called this is a triangle congruence statement. So if it says write a congruence statement, a congruent statement for the following polygons, or a congruent statement for the following triangles, this is what we're looking for. Okay, I'm going to erase this part here, this other figure, just so I can give myself some room to write. All right. So angle R is the first letter, is congruent to angle A. You may be able to pick this up pretty quickly. AC 1 to 3 is congruent to R to T 1 to 3 as well. All right. ST 2 and 3 are congruent to BC. ST, BC. What else am I missing? A, C, and RT, R, and A. Okay. RS, is congruent to A, B, first two. And lastly, angle B is congruent to angle S. All right. Okay. Like I said before, write a congruent statement. There's that terminology again, congruent statement for the congruent triangles. All right. Again, like I said before, our order matters. Okay. Order does matter. So if I want to talk about triangle ABC. That's not what I'm looking for. Triangle ABC. So the order in which I write the next triangle does matter. So if I go from 1 tick mark to 2 to 3, I have to go from 1 to 2 to 3, as in these angles. This angle is 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, because those are the corresponding parts. All right. The corresponding parts must match. B matches with E. C matches with F. I could have also, there are a lot of different combinations for this. I could also say triangle CBA would be congruent. CBA would be congruent. So I went from 3, 2, 1 to 3, 2, 1. Triangle FED. Okay. Let's try the next one. Or you can try it. Oh, of course, my marker, my pen. Wow, there we go. All right. Here we go. Let's talk to it. And we're talking. So, triangle, let's say A. I'll start with A. Oh, boy. Yeah. Triangle A. There it is. So 1 to 2 to none. Congruent to triangle. Okay, I have to start with 1 tick mark. So the only angle with 1 tick mark down here is angle E. To 2 tick marks, which is D, and then to none, which is C. Okay? Think of another combination. I could have gone CBA. I would have to go CDE. All right, again, there's a lot of combos out there. If I were in class today, I would ask a bunch. I'd be like, all right, what about CAB? What would that be? And you would think to yourself, all right, CAB. Okay, what would I think? Okay, holy buckets, I love math. That's what you would be thinking first. Obviously, then it'll go CED. Okay, you know, I heart math. So if I were you, I would draw this right here on your paper and just draw a big heart around it because you love this class. Okay, you're welcome. If you didn't know, the math is sick. It's pretty sweet. Okay, so in this diagram, these two polygons are congruent, these two quadrilaterals. We want to find the value of x and y. All right, so to find the value of x and y, okay, I want to set my corresponding parts congruent. Now, a lot of us are thinking, holy cow, I don't want to do a system of equations. Holy buckets. Well, we might not have to. We might not have to. All right, we can find x first, and then let's find y. X, I have this for QM. Well, QM, that's the first 2 letters. QM corresponds to what side? Yes. DE. That's right. QM corresponds to DE. Thanks for volunteering. All right. So if QM corresponds to DE right here, I can set those equal. X minus 2 equals 8. So x is 10. All right, so now that I know what x is, I'm going to use x to help me solve for y. What angle corresponds with angle P? Oh, it's angle G. This isn't, P is in the 4 spot, G is in the 4 spot. So I set 3x plus 2y equal to 84. And now that I know what x is, I'm going to substitute that value. 3 times 10, throwing a little algebra back at you, plus 2y equals 84. 3 times 10 is 30. Move it to the other side. 2y equals 54. So y equals 107. Just kidding. 27. LOL. Okay. Here we go. What else? Let's try another one. Oh my goodness. I love math. All right, so I know that ABGH, okay, nice reading, is congruent to CDEF. find the value of x. So I have x is angle H. All right, well, angle H. Oh boy, how many of you just yawned? How many of you just yawned? Raise your hand if you yawned. Okay. Make sure you listen to this with volume. If you're listening to this with volume, put a smiley face right here. Okay, and I'm going to check that smiley face and then put a frowny face. And then just say that, so anyway, so angle H is the last one. All right, well, F is the last one here. So I can set 6x plus 3 equal to 99. These other angles are just here to confuse you. Okay, so don't get tripped up. 6x equals 96. X equals, goes in once, remainder 16. That was, you see that mental math? No big deal. Must be a math teacher or something. So yeah, that's how you would solve for x for that problem. All right. So also, if you think about it, like math has a lot to do with. So this was a lot of fun. All right. So we talked about congruent parts. On Monday, we're going to continue to talk about congruence. Okay. The biggest thing about this one is finding the corresponding parts and understand that the order in which you write your congruence statement matters. Your homework assignment should be on your textbook online. All right. So make sure you check that. Okay. Before you leave, you're allowed, you can work on that now. Here is the homework assignment. Have a great weekend. Stranger Danger, make smart choices. Adios.